All right, good morning, gang. We are diving in head first this morning. We're going to give you all kinds of details on the weather from Roger Hill, but it is going to be just frigid. Wait till you hear the daytime high tomorrow. You're not going to believe it. We'll give you details on that in a little bit. Want to thank Joe Waldsworth and Bob Gowan last night from the Montpelier City Fire Department for hopping on with us and giving some critical public information, which we appreciate so much. I think we've got Lori Shepard on with us. Lori, good morning.
Good morning, JD. Good morning, Raylene. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right. How were things last night? There's the local sports world is absolutely on fire right now. I can't keep up with it.
I can't keep up with it either. I've got so many notes sitting in front of me. I'm probably going to miss half of them as I try to talk to you about the exciting sports scene in central Vermont.
You go right ahead. Take it away.
I'm not sure you listened to CVT Sport last night, but we had the game of the week in boys basketball locally, and it was the number 1 seed Spalding Crimson Tide taking on the number 2 seed in Division 3, the Hazen Union Wildcats. But Hazen Union, the defending champs in Division 3, but they play within the Capital Division, their schedule does, which is an extremely tough division here in central Vermont. Really exciting game. The Hazen Wildcats with a halftime lead, JD, of 23-20. And that is a low scoring game at the half because both of them fought. They probably averaged 65 to 70 points a night. But I led off the game by saying both of these teams pride themselves on the defensive end, and they really showed everybody what man-to-man defense is in central Vermont. So again, Hazen held a 3-point lead at the half, and Spalding came away with a 55-43 victory. Incredible basketball. The Tide came out of that locker room and really focused on getting Isaac Davis involved down in the paint, and he scored 6 straight points for Spalding to take that first lead. And with 5 minutes to go in the contest, Spalding extended it to a double-digit lead. But a tip of the hat to both ball clubs. Hazen playing in that tough Capital Division, but Spalding holding on to that number 1 seed right now in Division 2 with a 10-0 record. And down south, the Fairhaven Slaters are right on their heels with a 12-0 record. On the flip side, Hazen sticks in that number 2 spot in Division 2 at 11-2. So that literally was the game of the week last night. But also on the hardwood, U32 came away with another local victory, a 75-48 win over Williamstown High School, where Kaylin Zylenga had a double-double, 11 points and 11 rebounds. A lot of boys basketball, a lot of girls hockey, and a lot of boys hockey going on last night in central Vermont. We also had the Montpelier Solons, the boys, extending their record to 8-3. And they are actually, you're going to love this. I know I've mentioned it a few times on the air. They're the back-to-back Division 2 state champs. So Spalding, I could say, is chasing Montpelier High School, but Spalding has swept the Montpelier High School boys this year. Montpelier High School taking on Lake Region last night with a 69-43 win. And you're going to love this one. 13 3-pointers by the Montpelier boys team last night. That to go along with their Monday victory over Linden Institute, where they had 14 3-pointers, 27 3-pointers, JD, in their last 2 games.
For high school ball.
High school ball, 27 3-pointers. Off the charts. And I'm going to tell you this, you're going to love this too. These are sophomores. This is a heavy sophomore team down at MHS, and Cody and Carson Cody and Carter Brzezzi are just lighting it up from 3-point range.
I hope the Celtics, which I know are number 1 right now in the NBA, I hope they're paying attention to this, because I don't even think they're putting up 3-pointers like that.
I don't know. We got Jason Tatum that lights it up a lot for the Celtics from the perimeter as well. But that Montpelier boys basketball team is solid. Like I said, back-to-back state champs, graduated a very heavy senior team last year, but to come back, and I believe there's 3 sophomores that are in that starting lineup to go with a couple of seniors.
Wow.
So very impressive down there at MHS. But I tell you what, local sports is where it is at Central Vermont. So for the Spalding boys, they will have another home game tomorrow night against Lake Region. Lake Region will be traveling down here, and that is a 7 p.m. tip-off, and cvtsport.net will be calling that game as well tomorrow night. You know, I have to give a shout out to CVT Sport as much as I can.
Expect you to. Carl Parton is absolutely amazing, and I hope you do each and every time that we have you on the air. And I can't wait to have you and Carl in here together. Lori, go ahead.
We're trying to nail down a date, but we will be in soon. I promise you that.
You guys are doing a hell of a job. Anything else in your notes?
I've got a lot more. We had a lot of hockey going on as well. And of course, I have to give a girls basketball shout out. But the big game last night was girls hockey. Spalding traveled up to BFA St. Albans. And BFA St. Albans knocked off the Tide last year in the state championship game. So they skated to a 1-1 tie last night. Rebecca McKelvey with a first period goal for the Crimson Tide, assisted by Molly Parker and Hannah King. And that's big because, as I stated, that was the state championship game last year. And it almost seems like they're on a collision course. Spalding now sits at a cool 13-0-1. That one, the tie from last night. They sit as the number 1 seed with BFA right behind them. And a big shout out to the U32 girls hockey team with a 2-1 win last night over Missisquoi to improve their record to 5-8-1 on this season. Shout out to Hannah Drury with 2 goals and Caitlin Fielder assisting on both of those. And the U32 boys hockey team skated to a 4-1 victory over Harwood last night to improve to 9-2-1. They sit as the number 2 seed right now in Division 2. Also on the ice, I can't forget about the Spalding boys hockey team that skated to a 3-2 overtime win over BFA St. Albans. Doubleheader hockey up there in St. Albans. And that puts the Spalding Crimson Tide boys hockey team on a 2-game winning streak, as they had a January 28th victory over CVU, 6-2. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about girls basketball from Tuesday night. The U32 girls with a 46-45 victory over Montpelier High School. JD, I love those crosstown rivalry games.
We've had some amazing games. Lori, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And, of course, don't forget tomorrow night. My God, tomorrow night is going to be George Como night at Kreitzberg as we honor George Como. So looking forward to that very much. We're going to shift gears right now. I have 2 ladies sitting in the studio with me right now. Aimee, I don't think you and I have officially met.
We have not, JD.
Aimee Green from Barrie Area Development. Welcome.
Thank you, JD. It's a pleasure to be here.
And, of course, the lovely Shannon Alexander. You've been at the helm now since, was it October?
October of last year.
It was tail end of October, I think, is when you took the wheel, right?
Yeah, shortly after Indigenous Peoples Day weekend is when I started. I did some onboarding with our interim, Carl, for a few weeks prior to that, but started in early October.
Nice. How have you been?
I've been well, very busy. I'm super excited to be here.
Crazy busy.
Really a wonderful community and just been so welcoming. I guess it's safe to say I've hit the ground running. We're really busy with a lot of different projects, which I'm happy to share with you.
Yeah. And Shannon, what the hell are you doing now? I mean, other than just snapping everything, you're officially now the marketing coordinator for BADC, right?
I am. It's me and Aimee. We're a fantastic 2-person team with our whole board of 15 members behind us for Barrie Area Development, and we're working very well together.
I think we all know it's one thing to have great things and be talking about great things and having awesome things going on, but if we're not bringing it visually to Central Vermont's eyes, we're missing the boat. So we've got to do that because there's some incredible things to see.
Central Vermont, excuse me, and beyond. So
yeah,
the idea is to continue to generate pride in the community and promote business and encourage businesses to come here. So not only are we trying to work on everything based in here in Central Vermont, but really outside as well.
I was always, when we had Cody on the air with us, I was always asking him about this particular property or that particular property and the opportunities that the potential for opportunities in Central Vermont. And he would always say to me, don't ask me about that particular one right now. We're waiting. Things are fluid.
Things are fluid. I mean, I'd love to share with you a little bit what I can.
Please.
Yeah.
Please do.
So a couple of exciting things that we're involved with. You may have already heard we were named to the regional priorities list. So Northern Borders Regional Commission, which is a commission that spans Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and designates varying communities for federal grant dollars, named us to the Vermont list this year. We're number 5 on the list, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
For a project which we've dubbed the Prospect Heights Project. So as its name might suggest, it's up in the Prospect Heights area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 100 homes.
That's what the goal is. This will be a multi-phase, multi-year project to address the housing crisis, obviously in the Barrie area and for our region.
Okay.
Trying to assist some of our large local employers, CVMC, looking at working and partnering with them. Certainly the school district, National Life, Union Mutual, any of these large employers who can't really hire people because when they are offered the jobs, they can't move here because there's no place to live. What we're kind of envisioning is a hillside of housing that really spans from affordable to market rate. So we're also talking to Down Street, certainly Habitat for Humanity. It's very much in its infancy, the program, but we're really excited about it. And just
I think the big question is where?
Yeah, so Prospect Heights. So if you drive up Prospect Heights about a half a mile from the Opera House, that tract of land, right as you sort of start to crest to your left, that's undeveloped and below what's Country Way. So there's actually a 30-acre plot there that's currently owned by the Fectos that's directly below Country Way. So that's the Prospect Heights that's accessible currently now from Country Way. This grant that we're looking at would provide some assistance with infrastructure. So obviously the first piece of this is to tie into the existing infrastructure, water, sewer, roads, etc.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
This is tremendous. Go ahead, jump in anytime you
I
want.
was just going to say, you're familiar with the radio station up on
Yes,
Street. So
that
that whole area behind it and going down to Prospect Street.
Wow.
Yeah. And then another exciting thing that we're jumping into is, which I can tell you about, is a couple of businesses that are Burlington-based that are looking at expansions down here. One of them is called the Venetian Soda Lounge.
Yes.
So
you guys met with them over at the Cornerstone a few weeks back.
We did, yeah. So Justin Bunnell, who owns the Venetian Soda Lounge, it's actually a fascinating story. His grandfather started the Venetian Soda Company back during the bootlegging era a long time ago.
Wow.
When alcohol was first, becoming legal, and launched this very successful soda company way back when. And Justin wants to bring it back to life. What he wants to do is actually expand down here and is looking at, and we're helping him find properties to actually have a manufacturing distribution facility for his sodas. Here in the Barrie area. And then he also has this really cool lounge up in Burlington called the Venetian Soda Lounge, which is essentially a speakeasy.
Right.
He brings in people like Ray Vega and Marty Fogel, some really top acts. We showed him a couple things down here on the main street. He would love to be right here on the main street, so we're talking with him. And his business partner owns Brio Coffee Works.
Yeah, that coffee.
So they're in business together, and he's considering also doing some expansion down here as well. And he's pretty specific. He doesn't do pastries or anything like that. He's just a coffee shop.
Yeah,
that's all he offers, and he does some high end.
Espresso
machines and things like that. They're really great guys. They see the potential down here and want to get involved. So
wow.
That's something I can definitely...
Yeah, if you're in Burlington, check out the space. It's a stunning space. And obviously Barrie has the sort of history and character that suits
Sure.
that whole dynamic that they're looking for.
So where do we stand with that? Are they just kind of...
We're just starting conversations, starting to show them spaces. We had some meetings with CVEDC, with Melissa Bounty. She's fantastic. Just talking about options for funding. So getting going with them. But they're pretty serious about it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Go ahead.
I would just wanted to also just give kudos to my predecessor, Cody Morrison,
Yeah.
and the fantastic work he did bringing in over $6 million to the city.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose sight of that.
Yeah.
Those monies are on their way for the auditorium, also for the water pipe up near the Dix Reservoir. So big kudos to him for that.
Yes. There's been a lot of chat about that lately. And when's it coming? When are we going to start the Barry Auditorium? Which would be tremendous. We can't wait. We're so excited.
Yeah, it's
Everyone
overdue.
is.
Yeah,
Way overdue. I can't remember what it was. It was like $4 million.
It's close to $4 million for the auditorium.
2 point
and
something.
then something like 1.7 for the water pipe up near the reservoir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me about what a typical day for you is. I know it's hysterical.
Well, a typical day starts with you talk.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's meetings, talking to people, networking, working on numbers, spreadsheets, talking to my executive committee, running around with Shannon, looking at prospects for new businesses. I'm all over the place.
So where's your office? The same place where Cody was?
Yes, in the Blanchard block on
Okay.
the second floor, overlooking the park. It's a wonderful
it's
space.
amazing.
I love it. Yeah,
It's amazing.
I can't get enough of the view every day.
I told Cody that he should put a camera out his window and shoot the park. And
That's
have
a
that
great
as
idea, like a webcam, live webcam.
I take photos from there though, so that you probably saw in the Barry Partnership the Christmas. She shared it.
Yes.
Tracy shared it for New Year's, but I took a long exposure shot from our office of
Yeah.
the park with the lights and everything.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
beautiful. Yeah,
It's
a good
incredible.
spot.
I don't know what we would do without Shannon.
I don't know what we would do without Shannon either. And I mean, as you all know, a huge piece, 99.9% of our work is about marketing the Barry area.
That's right.
So I will, if I can, just take brief mention here to note that we went before the City Council for our fiscal year 24 budget, which starts in July of this year.
Okay.
And asked for additional funding to support our marketing efforts and support the great work that Shannon does.
Yeah.
That is actually going to go before the voters in March, which I think is actually pretty cool.
That is
so
great.
The voters will have the opportunity to vote on
The
this,
way it should be done.
to vote for housing, to vote for business, and to vote for economic growth in this area.
March.
Yeah.
Do
so
we have a date?
Article 7, vote yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's
What is the date? Is that March 3rd? The 3rd, yeah, March 3rd.
All right. So I have to ask. Let's talk about the differences between BADC, Barry Area Development Corporation. So
Absolutely.
we
I'm
need
gonna turn that over to Shannon because she partners
Obviously,
with the Barry
I'm
Partnership.
very familiar with both.
Yeah, she wears many hats.
I think
Yes.
the fact that I work with both probably makes it extra confusing for the public. Than,
Sure.
Trying to differentiate between
right.
the two of us. So the Barry Partnership is our designated downtown organization. Tracy Lewis is our amazing executive director. So they are in charge. I'm on the board as well as being a photographer for them.
Yep.
We do all of the local events. We put on the Heritage Festival. We do Farmers Market here on Pearl Street Pedway. We do Food Truck Thursdays, concerts in the park, all of the wonderful events that happen downtown, all the things that bring vibrancy and vitality to the community and get people excited, and also support local businesses is a huge key to it all. So while Barry Partnership does that, Barry Area Development is a economic development organization. So we partner and collaborate on a lot of things, and we work very closely together, but we're much more low-key, long-term plans, things that are not always in the forefront. You don't really see what's happening until it's really coming to fruition. So there's a lot of things we kind of have to sit on as we're developing, which is also why marketing's kind of a key part of it. For a long Barrie Area Development's been around since, what was it,
1961.
Yeah,
and
61.
A lot of people still don't know that we exist.
We're in the background. We're doing the development. It's nonprofit. We're bringing the businesses here. We're helping them expand. We're helping them find spaces. We're, bringing in companies from other countries, helping with stuff out at the Wilson Industrial Park. We're doing the marketing for this entire area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, and that's why marketing's such an important aspect of it, because all these things have been happening throughout the years, but you don't hear about it.
Right.
So it's time to really put that in the forefront and get, just let everybody know how these things happen.
Yeah, and I think just to add in terms of just information for the general public and of course our voters is, every ask of our voters ultimately is an important one. But it's really important to note that, what our organization does, what Barrie Area Development does, is not an apples to apples comparison with the good work of, say, the library or Washington County Mental Health.
Right.
All of those asks are very important, but you can't compare them.
No.
And so I just wanted to note that because marketing Barrie and bringing businesses to Barrie, revitalizing this strip, doing work in the town of Barrie is what we do. And
how much do you think we need to market outside of Vermont versus marketing within our borders?
That's a great question. A lot. And one of our big efforts, actually, which we'll tee up here shortly, is about that, doing some large-scale downstream marketing in digital format, also in print format as needed, out to other
Vermont
states.
Business Magazine.
Vermont Business Magazine, but out to other states, to companies who want to relocate here or expand their businesses here.
I think, there's... it just seems like there's this misconception down country that Vermont is Burlington and Burlington is Vermont, and if we're going to relocate our business, I guess our only option is to go to Burlington, and it's just a massive misconception, I think.
It is, yeah, and Barrie is the third largest city in Vermont. With huge potential.
Yeah.
The lease rates here
just the granite
are less.
industry alone makes us more unique than any other.
Right. There's
city.
space here. I mean, Chittenden County has its own space constraints that we're not dealing with. We have room here to grow.
Sure.
Which is super exciting, and people are starting to catch on to that. I mean, you know what happened in Vergennes, what happened in White River Junction, what St. Albans is doing in terms of remaking themselves, is what Barrie is in the process of doing. So it's really exciting to be a part of that right now.
In addition to having so much untapped potential for space here, I say the people of Barrie are very underestimated. I think there's so much potential here for just the workforce alone and the drive of our community.
Yeah.
Hardworking, industrious, trained, skilled. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. We hear... Gosh, I mean, we've all been hearing for years, the farm show left and this and that. I mean, this weekend we've got the gun show, which is going to be incredible, and that's been a staple in our community forever. But we hear, God, it would be great if we could get, more large events, more concerts and things.
They're coming.
Yeah,
Tracy's
I know.
making it happen.
I know.
She is.
Everybody buy tickets to the
Recycled Percussion.
Recycled
April
Percussion.
1st.
At the Barrie Auditorium. It's going to be amazing.
Tremendous.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Those guys are touring all over the world. I mean, it's just amazing. But that's the kind of stuff we need. Donnybrook Fight Promotions has their big MMA fight coming up on the 18th of this month, which is in a couple of weeks. But that brings in a huge hit to the economy as well.
Absolutely. And then local stuff, venues right here on the main drag.
Opera House.
The Opera House, restaurants, small speakeasies. The reason, why come here? There's a growing arts community.
That's right.
It's on a boom. It's ready to explode.
Yeah, it sure is. And the AR market is tremendous too. I mean, Shannon pretty much. Did you pay rent there? What's the deal
I
with
live
that?
there.
You do live there.
I'm the mother of the house. I'm always there.
BADC, Raylene and I are always getting asked, have you guys heard what's going on with this building or that building? What's going on with Soups and Greens and what's happening with the L&M Diner?
Sure.
It's fun hearing all the rumors.
Oh, my God. Oh, I know there's
Yeah.
roller skating rinks and, yes, there's a lot of rumors.
Well, rumors are one thing, facts are another. So, and I'm here to share facts. So, Soups and Greens.
I'll create the rumors.
You create the rumors.
You
I'll
correct me.
clarify the
Yes.
rumors and let you know when,
What can you tell us about L&M Diner? Anything?
I can't.
You can kick me, throw something
Yeah.
at me.
I have nothing to share around that right now. We're actively showing the space for that. Also, Soups and Greens.
Yeah.
I don't have any new information for you around that yet.
All right. Yeah.
Soups and Greens has been, or is in the process of almost being completely renovated. And there is a tenant who is going to be going in what was the old optometrist space. That's in the process. The ink is in the process of drying, as you say, on the paper. So
Okay.
I'll have more info on that soon.
Anything about JJ Newberry?
No,
Smile,
I will
Shannon. You're not gonna
I will
ask her.
say unfortunately not yet.
right.
Although there are some, what I understand, some intense discussions underway. So
Yeah.
whatever rumor mills that might start to hopefully finally sell the space and renovate the space and do something wonderful with it.
I promise you, every time you come in here, I won't ask you about JJ Newberry.
I just want to say on that point that over and over again, I hear when people have in the community say anything bad about Main Street or how our industry is doing, they use that particular building as a direct reflection on the present state of things, and it's not the case at all. If anybody spends a fraction of the time downtown as I do on a regular basis, they would see that we're really thriving down here, and there's a lot of positive changes.
There are a lot of positive changes.
And just because you see an empty storefront doesn't mean nothing's happening behind the
Exactly.
scenes.
Right, and these
Exactly.
things take time.
They do take time. And look at what's going on in the world right now.
They take work. They take the right people being at the table, around the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other ideas that you have for us?
Well, one thing I would love to do if we have the opportunity is to show you something we're pretty excited about, which is some work we've been doing with Willem Lang over the past couple of months. And if you're ready to...
So I was just telling Raylene here. Unfortunately, it's not going to play.
Oh, okay. Well, I will tell you about it.
So so if you could do,
Can I share the link right now in
yes,
the feed as well?
Sure.
So people
please.
can-
Sure.
We can do it. Actually, I can too.
I got it up right now.
So we're pretty excited about this. So Willem Lang, whom you all know, he is a host on Vermont Public Radio, an author, sort of the voice of New England, graciously agreed to work with us on a short promotional video.
I've got it up there right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was put together by Tony Campos of Video Vision. Tony is fantastic.
He is.
So once you can see the link, you can click on it.
It's on right now.
We have called it Barrie, the Heart of Vermont, which we're in the process of trademarking that logo. Barrie, the Heart of Vermont. I mean, think about all the things you can do with that.
Yes.
And it's just a lovely piece with Willem Lang narrating, showing the world. This is something we're going to be marketing downstream all over the place, how awesome this community is.
Yeah.
Why you should
amazing.
consider bringing your businesses here, why you should consider moving your families here, why you should consider living here. We're pretty excited about it, so I'm glad you all have the opportunity to watch it.
And the link is on there right now. You can click on it. And no one else has seen this, right?
This is
the
the
first time
premiere
it's
right
being
now.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
So how did that all come into being? You went to Tony. You guys went to Tony.
Tony
and
did a series of videos for us, and this was one of the last ones that we had been working on for some time. So he got Willem Lang on board, who's just extraordinary. He's such an iconic voice of New England.
Yes.
And then he has a fantastic script writer that he enlisted as well, and it really depicts. There's a reason we called it Barrie, the Heart of Vermont. It depicts just like the heart and soul and industry of this community, and I'm proud of it. It's a huge display of my work.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Shannon's photography is featured throughout the entire thing. It's wonderful.
That's right.
And you can see just by watching it why I love what I do, because I'm everywhere all the time, just photographing and being present for all of the best stuff in our community.
I know you
amazing.
are. You're everywhere, and there's just been an influx of ribbon cuttings over the last couple of years. It seems like, and it's just really exciting stuff.
Very fortunate to be around for all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. What else? What else? You said March is when the voters are going to be able to show their support to BADC.
Yes. So Article 7, we just found out, will be what you'll be voting on and voting yes on to support economic growth, to support our work with housing, and to support bringing businesses here. That's what we do, and that's what we're about, and we cannot do it without marketing. We are the marketing arm for the city of Barrie. We're the marketing arm for the town of Barrie. And
what did you do before all of this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So
yeah, answer that one first, and then I have another question.
Oh yeah, sure. So I've been in economic development now for the past 4 years up in Lamoille County for a little organization called Stowe Vibrancy. Stowe Vibrancy, you may know this, but there's a 52-member downtown designated organization through the state of Vermont, of which the partnership is one of, and Stowe Vibrancy is one of, and many others around the state. So I was their executive director, doing a combination of really what is Barrie Area Development's work and the partnerships work. Every town and city uses these funds a little bit differently depending on the need. So I was their head for about 4 years at Stowe Vibrancy till I was recruited for this role here. Prior to that, actually, I spent the bulk of my career in healthcare. I was a healthcare administrator.
God bless you.
Where? In St. Albans at Northwestern Medical Center and also at UVM Medical Center. Wow. So sort of did the career climb hospital administrator thing and moved on in 2019, just before the pandemic, into economic development. And I love the work.
Yeah, it's definitely cut out for you. We've got a lot of stuff happening and a lot of stuff that needs to happen still in and around Barrie. It's
just wonderful watching the transformation. I mean, I'll tell you from my past experience and my goals here, which I've shared a little bit with you. I happen to live in Stowe, and Stowe, I don't know how much you know about Stowe, but back in 2010, the village of Stowe was really a ghost town. So I don't know when you last went there, but it was a ghost town. You know, there was a place where you could get your sundries. There was a funeral parlor. There was the Green Mountain Inn. And that was kind of about it. And this organization formed with the goal of, we need to revitalize this downtown strip. We need to have a place for people to come.
Was that like Stowe Area Association? Or?
Different organization.
Okay. All right.
It's Stowe Vibrancy. Stowe Area is the chamber.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and you know, over the past 13 years, they've done just that. I mean, they've completely revitalized that little village through the work of Stowe Vibrancy. So that was their economic effort in conjunction to events. That was their economic effort, and it came to fruition. They did it. And that's the goal here. You know, that's, again, going back to what I said before, that's what White River has done. You know, White River is a destination place now. It's an arts community. It's a place you can go. There's wonderful places to eat. There's art to check out. There's music happening.
Been hearing that a lot more lately over the last couple of months.
I mean, it's a hip place. Yeah, St. Albans as well.
Sure.
You know, Virgins.
VPR just did a big thing about White River Junction and how it's just changing, evolving into more of an arts community.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. Since I've been back in Barrie for 10 years now. I grew up here. I lived in San Francisco. I lived in New York City for many years. And when I moved back and bought a house here, I think it was the president of Goddard College. Somehow I got in a conversation with her. And as I was buying a house here, it was right after the big dig. And I still remembered my childhood here was, I mean, Barrie's amazing and always has been, but it was rough around the edges.
Sure.
And this woman, the president of Goddard College, was like, Barrie's the new Brooklyn. And having just moved back from New York City, I just kind of chuckled. And I was like, okay. But then I kept hearing it from people. And I swear I've probably helped spread that rumor as well, because I keep repeating it to people. But it wasn't until probably the last 5 years or so I'm like, no, Barrie really is the new Brooklyn in all the best ways possible. Not that we're and to be a part of that and to see the change in the trajectory of the community and we don't want it to be a bunch of hipsters. We just want to build on all the great things that are already here.
Keep our existing culture.
Absolutely.
I mean, our people are so authentic and genuine and hardworking and loving and so if we just keep building on that, there's endless possibilities.
Yeah. And look at, Cody and I were always talking about workforce development and just and he was he was at the helm in kind of the thick of what was happening, which was just insane. There were many times where he would come in here and he's just like, I just can't keep up with what's happening. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. But there's more jobs than there are people that are, I guess, willing to work them. I don't know. But there are so many opportunities to work in and around the Granite City. My God.
There really are.
Everyone's hiring.
Yeah.
So come here, work at least, and maybe think about being an entrepreneur and starting up your own business, even if it's kind of maybe seems like a far-fetched idea. You're the one-stop shop for that.
I'm the one to reach out to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we talk to people. I talk to people daily who are doing just that. From people thinking about opening up coffee shops to opening up, small manufacturing right here in the downtown. With storefronts. People thinking about renovating buildings, turning them into places for people to live. Of course, this Prospect Street housing project is huge. And other renovations that we have on the horizon for helping to refurb a lot of these buildings in the city and also in the town.
Tell us one more time about Prospect for those that may have missed that.
Sure. So Barrie Area Development was named to the regional priority list, the Northern Borders Regional Commission priority list for 2023. We're number 5 on the list of 12.
Yeah.
To, over a multi-year, multi-phased project, develop a 30-acre tract of land off of Prospect Street, which is directly below Country Way. So if y'all know where Country Way is, it's directly below that.
And directly behind where you're sitting right now.
Directly behind.
Straight behind.
Yeah, I mean, if you go straight up the hill.
And over
the way
Nelson's.
the crow flies, it's like an eighth of a mile.
Right.
Yeah.
So 100 homes ranging from affordable to market rate.
That's right. And we're talking to Down Street. We're having conversations with, potential developers. We're in the infancy, I'll say, of the project. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot of people to get on board with the project. Of course, this will be a collaboration with the city of Barrie as well.
Wow. And Shannon, just a little bit more, but you went to Spalding High School?
I did.
All right.
I went to North Barrie School when I was young, when North Barrie School still existed.
She was young.
Yeah.
She's ageless.
Yeah. That's what they say. I'm a vampire.
She doesn't age.
But yeah, Jim Taffel was my principal back then. And then I moved to South Barrie and I went to Barrie Town School. And then I graduated from Spalding. And now my daughters go to Barrie City School. And when they were even younger, they had Mr. Taffel as their principal as well. So it's amazing how
When did you graduate from Spalding?
2002. Stop.
You just dated yourself.
Stop. I dated myself. He's feeling older all of a sudden.
Kitty, what are you over there drinking wine? You're not old enough to drink wine over AR. And then you spent some time, you said in California, but also New York City, right?
Yeah, I lived in the Bay Area. I started working in luxury hospitality. I worked as a conference concierge at the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay. So I worked at all their events and was on the ocean. It was gorgeous. I got very homesick very quickly for the East Coast. I mean, I was like 22-ish. Yeah, so they don't understand sarcasm over there. It's a hard transition when you're young. So transferred to the Ritz-Carlton on Central Park, worked in guest relations for 6 years, had crazy, extraordinary, unbelievable, mind-blowing experiences all the time.
Yeah.
But again, was always homesick, constantly coming back to Vermont. And so as soon as my ex-husband and I wanted to start a family, we had our first child there and knew that it was time to come home. And
wow.
I miss it, but I have no regrets. I love it here.
Isn't it amazing?
It's great to visit. It's great to be back.
Even when it's freezing cold.
It's freezing cold in New York City, too.
Yeah. Wow. Speaking of the cold, Roger Hill and the rest of just everybody is talking about this. The daytime high tomorrow is supposed to be in the morning -2. This is air temp. This
balmy.
is not wind chill. Air temp.
We're talking tomorrow or Saturday?
Tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. Yeah, it is. I'm just double checking here. Yeah, -2. Actually, they've just updated it now. We have a morning high tomorrow of 0, and then we're going to go backwards during the day to -10 to 15.
Wow.
And this is air temp. This is not wind chill. And the winds out of the northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. That's the wind chill. We have the wind chill warnings in place pretty much statewide, but with an air temp of -10 to 15 and a wind chill of around 30 to 45 below. So
bundle up.
The good news here, if there's any, is that it's going to be short-lived. It looks like through the weekend, but Sunday things are going to be rebounding a little bit. 33 for the high on Sunday, but a daytime high on Saturday of 5. So it's not going to be here too long, but long enough to
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround at least.
stay indoors and binge watch something here
Exactly.
over the weekend. So when can we have you back? I mean, obviously we want to push Article 7. That's kind of a given, but
Yeah.
let's have you back. And
We would love to come back. Absolutely.
there's an awful lot to talk about.
There is.
And
A lot of good work underway.
And Shannon, she kind of knows what you're expecting, what you're anticipating, what it is that you might need pictures of before you even have to ask
She
her.
does. She's fantastic. She's so proactive. She's
right
out.
there.
She's out in front of me. I mean, she's leading
driven.
me. She's leading me around. She's telling me where to go.
Yeah.
She's the
It's
boss.
great. It's
Oh,
great to
please.
have her.
We're a great team.
So will you be fighting with Tracy over Shannon?
No.
No,
We all play
absolutely
nicely
not.
together.
Oh gosh,
Like,
Tracy
well,
is
no,
fantastic.
I need her. I've got her between 1
No.
and 3.
No, oh yeah,
there
Tracy
be any
is
of
an
that?
We did with
absolute
Cody, but
gem.
no.
I am so pleased to be able to work with her.
Yeah, she's
I knew
amazing.
her from my past life up in Stowe because we collaborated on different things, and we'd find each other at different conference and events and stuff. But I'm so happy to be working here with Tracy in this town. She does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We need both of you guys. You're the peanut butter and the jelly.
That's right.
We really do. We do. Good luck with everything.
Thank
I
you.
know you're such a busy lady, but please stay in touch with us. Let us know what's happening and anything we can promote.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Can you show the audience your fingernails really quickly? That
Oh,
looks
my
like
gosh.
Lily's work, yeah? We have several times. Oh, you have already? Okay.
Yeah,
How long? Okay.
We have. This was done.
They're very eye-catching.
Really?
They are.
Yeah, she did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
The toes are, of course.
Okay.
Not done.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
No.
That's TMI, right?
Yeah, yeah. We haven't done the toe. There's no toes. No toes.
I would have done it the other way around, personally,
Oh
but
my God. So you got to do what you got to do.
That's right.
There's
Good
gonna be
dad.
there's gonna be a day when she's not gonna have any interest in doing that. So
They grow up way too fast.
yeah, it was interesting going to the doctor's appointment the other day with these nails on. So anyway, thank you, ladies, so much for
Thank
coming
you so
in.
much.
Stay in
Have a
touch
great
with me,
day.
all right?
All right, we'll do.
All